Welcome, everyone. I'm Holly Kennedy, co-chair of the Government Action Team with the League of Women Voters, Manatee County. On behalf of the League, I'm delighted to welcome you to today's program, Democracy at a Crossroads, How Do We Respond? A bit of housekeeping quickly. This presentation is being recorded and will be available on our YouTube channel. You're welcome to share or repost the full recording. However, if you wish to use a portion of it separately, please obtain written permission from the League in advance. If you have questions during the program, please post them to the chat directed to Nancy Hughes, and to be sure to indicate which speaker your question is directed to. Nancy will present your questions to our speakers after their presentations. Our speakers today are two women in our league, Alice Newland and Cheyenne Heath. Let me first introduce Alice, who's going first. Alice is a retired CPA who specialized in business systems and financial analysis in Columbus, Ohio. Since relocating to Florida in 2006, her focus has shifted to environmental advocacy. She's a certified Florida Master Naturalist and has served as chair of the League's Natural Resources Committee. From 2019 to 2025, she was our fearless leader, and she led the League of Women Voters of Manatee County as president and co-president. She now serves along with me as co-chair of the Government Action Team, and I seriously could not do this job without her co-chairmanship. So thank you, Alice. Secondly, we have Cheyenne Heath, who goes by Shay, and she is a first-generation college graduate from Indiana with a bachelor's degree in education. Since moving to Florida in 2023, she has worked in higher education while pursuing her MBA. Shay is passionate about equity, access, and empowering underserved communities through education and digital literacy. She proudly represents the Unite and Rise for Democracy campaign sponsored by the League, where we aim to mobilize 8.5 million voters to protect and strengthen our democracy. And with that quick introduction, we're ready to begin. And Alice, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. So our agenda today, we're first going to look at the moment we're in right now. How did we get here? Then we're going to look at the framework of the Unite and Rise campaign, which was brought forward by the National as a response to the constitutional crisis we're in. Then we'll see Playbook 1, which happened from May to July, and we'll look at Playbook 2, which we just started. And then Shay will take us through what the League of Women Voters of Manatee County and Sarasota have planned or have possible Unite and Rise actions. During the presentation, Nancy will be placing a number of links in chat. All of you should have received an email prior to the program. And if you didn't, I'll get it to you right afterwards if you signed up today, with the links that are being placed in chat. We'll send them to all registrants again so that you can pay more attention to the presentation instead of scurrying to capture those links to that are part of the Unite and Rise program. Okay, let's look at the moment we're in. In the first 100 days of the Trump administration, 143 executive orders were issued, and many of them were quite questionable as to whether the president had the authority and or not. This was a by far record number of executive orders, and Congress refused to step up and take their part as their branch of government. Judiciary has been somewhat holding the line, but as we've seen at some of the Supreme Court decisions, They've been consolidating authority in the executive branch. The narrative put out by this administration is that we have to cut federal employees, but many of them are doing critical work, and especially for those who need it the most. There's divided realities about the place we're in right now, especially right at the election. There seems to be a coming together. A recent Gallup poll found that there's a significant drop in the percentage that want immigration decreased, and that Trump's job approval rating among independent voters has dropped 17 points and is now at 29%. There's this undermining of the voice of the people. Congress passed the SAVE Act, trying to further hamper the ability of citizens to vote. Judges have received threats saying that if they do not do what the administration wants them to do, they will be replaced. This is one of the primary reasons that the League chose to call this situation a constitutional crisis. We've had Medicaid, SNAP, school funds reduced. We've had defunding of Planned Parenthood and public television. The list goes on and on. And it takes resources from those that are most vulnerable. We have a diminished Department of Justice and Civil Rights Division. Realistically, these are no longer independent agencies, but take their orders from the executive. Personnel have voluntarily left or been fired. We are seeing judges and elected officials being charged with crimes for fulfilling their duties, such as the congresswoman who was visiting a detention center, or the judge who allowed someone that had come to the court for a hearing to exit by another door. And personally, I cannot help but add the FBI to this list. It's been in the news yesterday and today. It's supposed to be an independent agency, and now the FBI is being used to track down Texas Democrat legislators so they can be forced back into Texas and blatantly rig the system, gerrymander, so that Democrats cannot get elected. And today we heard that the administration has let go of the acting head of the FBI, who refused to give the names to the administration of those that worked in the January 6th assault on the Capitol. States have been mimicking the federal government. There's attacks on academia, law firms, the media. Those institutions have offered some resistance, but then we see most of them capitulate in order to get the funding they need to continue to exist or to protect their financial interests. A recent NPR poll found that 76% of Americans, or roughly 3 out of 4 respondents, believe there's a serious threat to the future of our democracy. This sentiment was high across all demographics, including 89% of the Democrats and 57% of the Republicans. Those answering did not specify why they felt this was a threat, and there's probably different reasons between the Democratic and Republicans. However, this is affecting people across political, gender, and ethnic lines. On April 17th, 2025, Selena Stewart, the CEO of the League of Women Voters, and Diana Wynne, president of the League of Women Voters, released a statement that, due to the Trump administration's flagrant disregard of congressional authority and government checks and balances to defying Supreme Court orders, it was abundantly clear our country is in a constitutional crisis. At the same time, Selena stated that we, the people, must fight back, and announced the launch of a powerful new initiative, Unite and Rise 8.5. Nancy's put in the chat links to the Unite and Rise homepage and the toolkit. This is for the whole program. How did they come up with the 8.5? Well, there's a 3.5 rule based on a study by Erica Chenoweth in 2018 that when 3.5% of the population of a country protests nonviolently against the government, that government is likely to fall from power or profoundly change. It's also important to note that nonviolent movements are twice as likely to succeed. That is why you see certain media will take pictures from a peaceful rally and find one disruptive element and show it over and over and over again, trying to build in that repulsion to violence. The League of Women Voters is actually perfect for an environment like this. Not that we want to be in this environment, but we have a large grassroots footprint. We have existing relationships with community leaders and other community organizations. And the League has been doing education and advocacy for its entire 105 years of existence. Okay, what's the framework of the Unite and Rise? Unite and Rise is structured with 6 90-day micro campaigns, which started May 1st, 2025, and will run until the 2026 midterm elections. On August 1st, the second campaign started. Each 90-day micro campaign has a power theme, like shifting power, building power, or holding power accountable. Our local leagues, Manatee and Sarasota, jumped on board right away with just the title. We were not working in the framework. We're not aware of the framework of this campaign that we're going over today, but we will now. In order to do the change we need to not only work with our sister and brother leagues, but we also need to reach out to public and partner organizations in ways we never have before. The campaign has 4 pillars as a way of organizing the scope of the campaign and our actions to achieve our goal of defending the Constitution, the rule of law, and democracy. The 4 pillars were developed on the things that the League does best. So they are legal and policy advocacy, public mobilization and coalition building, civic education and engagement, and democracy resilience. I'm going to just give an example or two in each category. So in the first pillar, legal and policy advocacy, the League will continue with advocacy and our lawsuits. A new item, which is a lot like what the Florida League did for returning citizens, where they found and trained attorneys who would agree to give free legal assistance to returning citizens. The National League is working with the state leagues to set up a cadre of pro bono counsel so the League can respond quickly to legal issues as they come up. The League has been receiving many calls for help with the current sweeping of immigrants off the streets without due process. The Nationals will work with our partner organizations on this. The second pillar, public mobilization and coalition building, our participation in rapid mobilization is new. You might have noticed the National League encouraged us to participate in the Good Trouble Day of Action. That's new. to just hook on to other rapid mobilizations and encourage us to participate. The League has also built strong partnerships with other organizations and will continue to do so. In civic education engagement, something we do well, look for expanded public awareness campaigns, and we are encouraged to continue to increase our outreach to new audiences. And under democratic resilience, we're to look to the future and build democratic resilience with outreach and education. Playbook 1. The first micro campaign focused on the shifting the power narrative. All the focus was on, and attention was on the president and his cabinet. Our job was, and still is, to shift that narrative by focusing attention on impacted voices, connecting actions to real life experiences, and mobilizing to redefine who holds power in shaping our future. It lifted the voices and the stories of those most impacted, immigrants, people of color, and made clear what is at stake by educating and mobilizing on the suppressive provisions of the SAVE Act, the lack of due process provided immigrants, and the impact of the budget reconciliation legislation. These are examples of actions the National League took in the first playbook, but just in the first month, the League of Women Voters of the United States made progress in each of the 4 pillars. They testified about the SAVE Act at the Senate Spotlight hearing. They issued several action alerts and statements on key issues. They sent letters to Congress and activated the Lobby Corps and continued popular education series on social media. The League also introduced a series of webinars that highlight the 5 key democracy topics essential to building a comprehensive knowledge base on navigating a changing political environment. Nancy's put in chat where you can register for one or all of the remaining webinars. You can see the speakers and agendas, and you can also see the videos that's in a box up here. These have already happened, but you can see videos of those webinars that have already occurred. The National League has developed a new way for individuals to commit to the Unite campaign. To help us mobilize 8.5 million people, they launched a commitment form for both League members and the broader public. This form is a simple but powerful tool. It asks for your name, zip code, and email, and it has an optional phone number field. This form serves as a commitment to stand by you, to stand with us in this movement. If the person filling out the form is new to our system, they will only receive emails related to Unite and Rise. The National League is working on a data sharing agreement with leagues so they can use the zip code to distribute the emails and phone numbers of those who have committed in our area so that they can to organize locally. For this form, you are asked to sign the commitment form yourself. Nancy's put a link to the commitment form in the chat. You're also asked to share it widely across your networks, on social media, and in any public-facing spaces. The goal is to build a groundswell of support, and your voice is essential to reaching 8.5 million strong. Playbook 2. In the second micro campaign, We are holding power accountable. Nancy is placing in chat the link to the Playbook 2 webpage and the link to the Playbook 2 PDF. So Playbook 2, we're focusing on defending and advancing voting rights, ensuring transparency and fairness in mid-cycle redistricting, advocating for economic justice, encouraging everyday democracy actions, building a nationwide network of government and election observers. Now, Manatee County for over 4 years has had observers for our county commission and our school board. And so we're way ahead on this one. However, we need more people to be observers to keep that movement going. We we have people that start, get excited, and then life changes. So we need more volunteers. And highlighting the role of courts in our system of checks and balances. Nancy has added in chat the Playbook 2 PDF, which is primarily set up like a calendar with actions you could do every day. Down at the bottom, you'll see a color code for the 4 pillars. So up here and on here, they're colored to tell you which pillar that fits under. And you can see they have. The circles mean that's an event. So if you look over on August 5th, that was a webinar. Up here is a link back to the Playbook 2 webpage, which has lots of detailed information and materials, way more than the PDF has. This one is every day on the calendar is highlighted with daily democracy practice. And this link takes you to the National League, 31 National League suggestions. Many of these actions you can do individually on any given day, but some you need to do with the league, volunteer with the league to do that activity. We are sending you after this presentation and a slightly edited daily democracy practice with a list of 30 items highlighted which ones you might want to consider doing individually and ones you can volunteer with the league, and if you choose to volunteer, how to connect. And lastly, if you notice, these 2 items have toolkits. And individuals and league members that are in charge of communications or just want to add it to their website, you need to look at these in advance. For instance, August 6th was the anniversary of the Voting Rights Act. If you will go to that toolkit, it's loaded with information on media, educational opportunities that you need to kind of plan ahead. It's got blogs, sample press release, possible educational programs that you can run, or you can develop your own way to bring attention to that event. So if you notice that our league took that event of the anniversary of the voting rights and used it not only to educate about the original Voting Rights Act, but also use it as a way to advocate for passage of the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. And now, Shay, the floor is yours.
Great. Okay, so I'm happy that there's 53 participants in here, which that is really exciting to see everyone involved. Okay, go ahead and click to the next slide, but we're going to be talking about the League of Women Voters Manatee County, our planned and possible Unite and Rise actions. So first off, we are not alone. There are many groups which are using a huge wide range of approaches to stop the constitutional and legal violations that we're seeing. These are ranging from legal actions and media outreach to the grassroots mobilization that we're seeing, pronouncements. Sorry, that word is a little hard for me to say. Public pronouncements and veteran leadership stepping up. The League is definitely far from alone. We definitely are believing Indivisible through Political Progressive is one of the key organizers of rallies such as the No Kings, and currently is starting a program to have people have gatherings, either home or in the library as a way to reach those that you may not agree with on many issues, but can be partners in fighting our, bear with me, atrocracy. I cannot, sometimes some words are a little hard for me. The C's are a little hard, but atrocracy. So we're seeing the churches Unitarian, United Church of Christ, Synod, and even the Catholic Church are stepping up publicly. This is particularly in the relationship of the treatment of immigrants that we've been seeing throughout the United States. You can see all these different articles that we've pulled up and how they correlate with our involvement in this. Go ahead, next slide. So both Manatee and Sarasota, so SRQ, share action alerts with our whole distribution list. So Sarasota has now dedicated an editorial team to this. We are working together and sharing proclamations to be announced at our county commissions and also issuing joint op-eds to Manatee and the Sarasota newspapers for Women Equity Day, which we'll talk about that in just a bit. In Manatee, we created yard signs. As you can see, this lovely yard sign being held up at one of the rallies and have distributed more than 300. So that's really exciting. A little clap there. So Sarasota purchased at cost 50 of them, creating their own signs, and they held a rally that had about 200 people. And as you can see, fantastic press coverage. It's really exciting to be able to see these yard signs out and about in fruition that Alice and I and the whole team have created together. A number of Manatee members and followers joined the rally, and I truly do believe we're better and more effective when we're together, and that's why we are partnering on a lot of these items that you're seeing there. All right, go ahead, Alice. All right, so the League of Women Voters Manatee County has a couple of planned actions. So we're going to continue the distribution of yard signs. As you saw there, it was a beautiful yard sign. Alice and I have really put a lot into that, and the whole Manatee County League has put a lot into that and getting those distributed at different checkpoints. We are gathering the commitment forms that has been put in the chat by Nancy, the proclamations of the county commissions in Bradenton. We're doing more op-ed and letters to editor. I believe there's been so much different press that has been out that we have put out that we shared like on Facebook and Instagram, and you can check those out there. The continued voter registration, as Alice was touching on that just a hair before we were starting the presentation, we were talking about that voter registration. We are working with the Immigration Justice Coalition of Southwest Florida. We're doing the Women's Equality Day breakfast and then the Unite and Rise for Democracy rally. So it's really important that you're staying in tune with the League of Women Voters United States and what they're doing. And the next field call will be in late August. All right, go ahead. Okay, some additional Unite and Rise opportunities as we're starting to get into that, middle of August to late August. You're thinking, how can I be involved? How can I, reach and move others? You can be involved in the August 26th Women's Equality Day. We'll talk about that, I believe, a little bit more. So I don't want to touch on that too much. We have the September 16th National Voter Registration Day. We have September 17th, the Constitution Day, and then October 6th through 10th is the National Voter Education Week. So some actions that have been suggested is we want to continue with the proclamations, press conferences, presentation of petitions, those pop-up rallies. I'm super excited to see the more rallies that we have going on throughout the year and what we've already seen. The daily social media posts into those participating, checking out also our Facebook as well, and the things we share on there. The programs of the library, book group, humor, arts. It's free to your imagination, but we want to continue spreading awareness and reaching and moving others. It's at, Unite and Rise 8.5. Okay, I kept alluding that I would talk about this a little bit more, and I did. So Save the Day, Women's Equality Day breakfast. This is on Tuesday, August 26th from 8:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. This is at the Women's Resource Center, and you can see the address in there. So Ashley Brown, the president and CEO of Women's Resource Center, will be speaking on the economic inequality and barriers for women. I am really excited that Terry will also be joining as the co-VP and Voter Services Action Team Chair of League of Women Voters Manatee County. Her focus will be on voting rights and the ability of women to influence the government policy. Nancy Hughes, she's in there, you see her in the chat, is on the Reproductive Rights Action Team Chair of the League of Women Voters Manatee County, and she will be discussing women's reproductive rights. And then we have E. Scott Osborne, which is the writer and gender equity advocate. She will be covering gender inequities. There are a lot of words, Alice, that you gave me that I'm stumbling on, but we'll be covering the gender inequities. And then we have, the words are getting real tough for me. Nierda Thompson Pemberton, which is the founder of Fundication, addressing STEM. I want to make sure I got that fun part of it. And then I am super excited. Like I said, we were going to continue to have those rallies and those pop-up rallies. So we want to save the date, put it on your calendar. I know Alice just talked about the calendar as well, making sure that you're getting that on your calendar and you're prepared for the Unite and Rise Legal Women Voters Sarasota rally. That'll be in Venice. That'll be on Saturday, October 11th. And as we get closer to the date, you'll also want to be checking out like social media and making sure you're checking that and the newsletter that comes out, as we'll put more information there as well as it gets closer. And then something I am obviously super passionate about is the Save the Day for the Unite and Rise for Democracy rally that we are hosting. So this will be Saturday, November 1st, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., Rossi Park down the Bradenton Riverwalk. We have 3 fantastic speakers, and you might have known them. They've done TEDx Bradenton, and they're also local community members that are very involved. So we have Oscar Portillo Meza, and then we have Michelle Grimsley Shindano. And then we have our League of Women Voters Florida president, Jessica Lowe Miner, who will be also presenting as well. Our lovely MC Terry will be there. And then we have DJ Milo Mindbender and local performers, some of which you'll see within the community already who've been performing. DJ Milo Mindbender has also been performing in the community. And then booths for other nonpartisan organizations such as like the National Popular Vote, ACLU, Common Cause, Digital Democracy, Patterson Foundation, all of these different nonpartisan organizations. It's not just enough for us to obviously be doing this rally for the League of Women Voters Manatee County. We want to make sure that we're also partnering with all of our different community members. We talked about that before, how we're not alone. So we're not going to be alone in this either. We want to really ignite and educate our community and send them on after November 1st, and they're gonna be ready and prepared for continuing to unite and rise other voters. And then we'll also have food trucks as well. And we're looking into making sure that everything is just perfect and pieced together. And I'm really excited to have that rally. It's definitely been a labor of love for sure. So make sure you're putting that on your calendar as well. And more stuff will be updated and making sure everything is finalized for you all. You can continue to check the newsletter and checking social media as well. So, are you ready to join the action? Can I get like a hand or like a clap, raising your hand or clapping? I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited, and I get happy to see so many people involved. And if there are questions in the chat, we would love to have them dropped in there, and we'll keep going. All right, I'll hand it off to Alice again.
Well, we're actually handing it to Nancy.
Oh, perfect.
Actually, there are no questions at this time.
Amazing.
Are you guys saying we're that great at presenting? You have not one question?
Amazing.
Chat is disabled.
Oh no.
Well, ask your question.
Yeah.
If anybody has it, oh, Mary Lynn raised her hand. Mary Lynn, unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yeah, there's the reference to 8.5, and then there was a reference to 3.5. So I got confused and wondering what the relationship is.
Okay, so there's this study that says 8.5% of the population can change the government. So the League of Women Voters chose to run the 3.5% of the can change the government significantly. The government either falls or it significantly changes. So given that statistic, the league ran it against the number of possible voters. If you ran that 3.5% against the total population of the United States, you'd come up with more like 11 million. But it's a benchmark. Nobody's counting really, because how do you know? The idea is that we got to reach a lot of people, or us and other organizations have to reach a significant number of people that you're approaching that number, that it becomes statistically significant that the government will change.
So 3.5 is a percent, and 8.5 is what
Is the number
3.5% of the population would be.
Yeah, is the number of people. So 3.5 is the percent, 8.5 is the number of people.
Okay.
And Rebecca has her hand up.
Oh, thank you. I would like for you to repeat the dates. You had a date in August and a couple in September, and would you repeat those dates, please?
Yeah, and Nancy, could we throw those in the chat as well? And that might help.
Let's see.
So we were looking at like the August 26th date, October.
So
Keep going back. Keep going back.
Yeah, November 1st for the rally. Previous to that is the rally by
One more.
Sarasota. And
One more.
There's the breakfast. That's August 26th. And that says save the date, but you need to do more than save the date. You need to sign up. So if you go on LWVmanatee.org, it'll go flashing by at the top. You click through and it'll give you the link to sign up. It's free. Oh, wait a minute. I'm going the wrong way.
Yeah, Nancy's actually put the dates in there too. So we have, August 26th, the Women's Equality Day, September 16th, the National Voter Registration Day, September 17th, the Constitution Day, and then October 6th through 10th is the National Voter Education Week. And then in the chat, Nancy has put the October 11th League of Women Voters Sarasota rally in Venice, and then the November 1st League of Women Voters Manatee County rally.
Yep. There we go.
Rossi Park. Yep.
So are events planned for those days that you don't have flyers for, like voter registration day? And
Terry Condos has been working on that, and she's working, doing a lot of coordination with Sarasota. So there will be significant additional social media, but she's also been playing around with schools, the possibility of going to schools for those events, and she's just not final yet on what's going to happen for those particular dates. She'd like to do some stuff in the library, but to our libraries in Manatee County, you can only reserve a room 45 days in advance. So, which is probably enough, but it really makes you nervous that you're going to get a room. So,
Deb Mazzaferro has her hand up.
Hi. So in the chat, it says that November 1st is a rally at Benderson, and the slide said it was
Rossi
Riverview.
Park.
Park.
Yeah,
Sorry.
she might have been
Riverview.
typing.
My
Okay.
mistake.
She's
And-
typing quick.
And the 3.5% is not to overthrow the government, it's to effect change. Takes 3.5% of the population to shift.
Well, the study itself
If you,
that
if you,
the study
if I
itself
could-
said the government changes or makes the government's replaced or makes substantial change. No, we're not trying to do a violent overthrow of the government. Yeah.
No, I know you're not trying to make it violent, but it's not voters and it's not a change of government. It's a change in effect. It's an effect of overall. Anyway, it's a very interesting concept. I can't put a link in the chat because it's disabled, but anybody can Google it.
Well, I will, seeing as we don't have, one of the reasons we disable chat, let me see if I'm got it. Okay, you can do it now and anybody can put anything in chat now. One of the
Could
reasons.
you enter the link, Deb? Oh, there it is. Thank you.
Yeah, one of the reasons we do that is occasionally we get somebody that wants to be disruptive. And so we don't appear to have any disruptive people today, so we'll open it up. So,
And we have Vilia Johnson.
Yes, I think we're all on board in this group. I wanted to mention that yesterday LWV-US had a webinar about those civic holidays, those civic days, National Voter Registration Day, recognize local heroes, the election workers, that type of thing. And so they were actually very late to the party to just have that information yesterday, but there was a host of information about each of those holidays and activities that could align with those holidays. And so I can send that main website to Alice to distribute when she distributes the rest, any follow-up materials for that.
yeah, please send that. That's not part of the 5 Democracy series? It was different?
It's different.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Yeah, send it along.
It was
and-
very enlightening, but it was like 2 months too late, but for us to plan. But it's something, and we'll have more information going forward. So
Good. We'll get that distributed.
Any other questions from anyone else on the Zoom call?
great job. I think that is very well done. You made it so much simpler than it looks in the fire hose of information we're getting from LWV-US. So thank you for that.
That was honestly, for a while I was pulling my hair out trying to find order to it. And then I went to bed one night. The next morning it was like, wait a minute, we've got both a web page and a PDF type toolkit type thing for the main program. And we've got one for Playbook too. Let's just focus on that. Let's not focus on all the ancillary stuff because that community call, I saw so many people so confused by the time they were done. So
Alice, this is Sean. So in the comments or the chat, are you going to send us a copy of that? Because I'm looking on my app and I haven't found a way to download it. The chat.
What we're sending you is quite frankly, what we're sending you is I'll just send to everybody another one of the
PDF you sent earlier?
The PDF we sent earlier. I'll just attach that as well. I'll send
Okay.
the daily democracy PDF, and you must have signed up today because everybody that signed up before today got the links PDF, and then it will also have the link to the recording of this program, and it will also have what Vilya is going to just give us for the program on holidays, the link to that. So you already have one, I take it, Vilya, that the link to the recording of the holiday one.
I'm sure I can come up with it. I wrote a document to share, and so I'll just send you that document, and it's got
Okay.
links for every holiday.
Okay. Well, then the document on holidays.
And Susan had her hand raised a little bit ago. Susan?
Yeah, my question is more, when I know we're going to have a rally on October 11th, are there things that we can be doing?
So the rally on October 11th.
November, are there things we can help with?
Oh,
Prepare signs, make signs.
hello. Can you guys hear me?
So Susan, let Shay, because it appears Susan says if we want to volunteer to help at the rally, how do we do that?
Well, I would love that. So the October 11th rally is for League of Women Voters Sarasota and Venice. The November 1st one is the League of Women Voters Manatee County. So we are going to be looking for people helping set up and take things down because we are going to have performers and we're going to have the DJ and the MC. I want to make sure that our booths are set up and we have our tables and everything. So be looking a little bit closer to the end of August. We'll make sure that we're sitting that out. We are getting our tabling right now for the nonpartisan groups that are going to be joining us. And when we get everyone who is officially signed up and they're going to be tabling, we'll be able to send out a more cohesive, this is what we're looking for people. You can be obviously getting our pre-made yard sign that we have. You don't have to put the stake on it. You can have that there ready for you. You can have the sign and then be looking for participation because we're definitely going to need volunteers to be able to help put that all together because that's a lot.
So I put in chat info@lwvmanatee.org. If you have an interest in any of these particular things, a skill you want to share, anything like that, for Manatee County, send to that email. Vilya, where should they send it for Sarasota?
Well, and can Sarasota members help in Manatee, or would you rather not have us help?
We take everybody.
Absolutely.
Yes, I just wanted to make sure the dates were correct for you, Susan, for which one.
Yes.
Which
we're all
I get
supporting and
both
helping
emails,
each
so
other.
that's fine. Just if you put it in the email, too, that could work.
Absolutely.
I'm
Yeah.
dropping my in there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Susan. We really appreciate, and everyone who is going to be helping with that rally, know that it has definitely been a labor of love, and I'm excited to see it come together November 1st, 100%.
Yeah. So, yeah, we have had so much sharing back and forth between Sarasota and Manatee. So we and a lot of our action teams have people that are members of the action team that that aren't league members. We'd like them to be, but and you can become a league member for as low as $20. So there's no reason that somebody wouldn't be, but it happens. It happens that the person has a particular interest and they're there for that interest, whether it's the you know, education or reproductive rights or healthcare or Unite and Rise just for this campaign. People participate for what motivates them.
We
I
had
have
many
actually
supporters from Manatee when we did our rally on July 5th. I was thrilled with how many people came from Manatee, and we're really looking forward to supporting you on November 1st.
And you definitely are going to have a table there too. So
Okay, we can do that.
yeah.
So how many members in the league are there? Does anybody have that number? Does the U.S. List of
What was the
how many
question? How
How
many
how many
members?
people are in the league across America? Do we know?
I don't know.
There's more than 750 chapters, right, in the U.S.? It's my understanding.
This is Ruth, president of the Manatee League. Susan, the frustration that National League of Women Voters had was that it was very difficult for them to actually be able to answer that question. So it's why they changed the the entire system for becoming a league member. That new system is functioning in terms of you can join the league through it, but they don't have any reporting mechanisms yet working. There have been estimates in the 50,000 member range, but we're probably a good 6 months away from getting a real solid number out of the actual system from US.
According to the website, to artificial
Mhm.
intelligence, which is not necessarily that intelligent, they claim there's over 1 million members. But then they say 1 million members and supporters, so I don't know what that means.
We can believe the number.
Well, we certainly hope that it becomes 1 million if it's not already.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Well,
guys.
What do you think? Okay.
I think it's time to close.
All right. Well, thank you all first of all, thank you, Alice, and thank you, Shay, for these amazing presentations and getting us up to speed and how clear everything is and reassuring us that we're not out there alone. Just even being here together on the screen is reassuring to know that we all care deeply about our country and really are looking for ways to participate. And I thank the national group and all the leaders of our local groups that they've given us the tools to figure out how to participate. Giving us the tools to figure out how to participate. So thank you. I mean, really thank you. And I just can't say enough about that lovely poster that you guys created. That's my neighbor who took mine and went off and demonstrated or, was at the rally. And so I'm thrilled with that. And I'm definitely going to order another one. Anyway, I want to thank everyone for joining us also on this whole presentation about democracy on a crossroads and how do we respond. And on behalf of our league, Manatee County, and our Sarasota partner in crime here, we're grateful for all of your time and attention and commitment to civic engagement. And as a reminder, this has been recorded and will be available on the YouTube channel. And as Alice has already mentioned, you're going to receive an email with a link to the presentation and the daily democracy practice, which sounds like a devotional, but the daily democratic practice. And we definitely invite you to stay connected and involved. Every 5 minutes of your time is helpful. Get involved with all these upcoming events. We now know we've got November 1 and October 11th coming up. I'm signed up for the breakfast. I think listening to Terry and the other speakers at that breakfast will be a fantastic opportunity to network and just be reassured that there's still a lot of people interested in pushing us forward. And we want to thank you again for helping amplify the message of civic engagement and democratic resilience. Whether you're doing it through advocacy, education, or outreach, as I've already said, everybody's already reiterated, there's a role for everybody.